3, 2, 1, action!
Hi everyone, and welcome to another My Kids Locker empathy tale. I'm so excited for you to be here today. We are going to share another story, and this one is called The Emerald Butterfly. A little background on this story. So it was told Saturday, June 7th, 2018. There's a quote that I like to connect with on this story. It's, "I welcome all butterflies into my heart because that feeling is a constant reminder of how alive and full of life I truly am." And that was by Karen A. Beckeram. Sorry. So this story actually came off of a podcast I was listening to. A podcast called On Being by Krista Tippett. She was interviewing Sarah Gilbert, and Sarah Gilbert shared about a friend of hers who had written about creativity and how she thought that creativity looked like an amethyst butterfly. It was beautiful, pristine, and that once it comes out and shared with other people, then it becomes damaged, and that then it, you can add little bits of chipped paint and bubble gum and sticks and branches, and it will relive again. And the idea being is that once you have an idea and you bring it into the world, creativity, it actually has to more likely die for it to thrive. And so I decided to write a children's story off of that. I've kind of changed the ideas a bit. And this one's called The Emerald Butterfly, not the amethyst butterfly. But I love the idea of visualizing a butterfly and how precious to us our creativity is. And often when we are creative, we can share an idea, but then somebody will say you're not good enough or it's not good enough. And there's a lot of shame that's wrapped around there, and how we need to overcome that shame. And a big shout out to Brené Brown, because I've learned so much from her research on empathy and shame resilience, and learning about how to show empathy to other people. And that's really, truly the only antidote to really dealing with shame in a healthy way. And this story is about an old woman who lives up on a hill, and a young girl who's watching her. And it's the journey of how this woman has these beautiful gem butterflies, and the heartache that goes along with the brokenness of these butterflies, and how the young girl learns the importance of brokenness and that there's beauty in brokenness. And I think as humans, we go through life, and, here I am at 41 years of age. And, there's been so many times where I come up with this awesome idea, or at least I think it's awesome. And someone's like, you know what? I don't like it. Or, you know what? I think you shouldn't be sharing it. Or, you know what? I just think it's a pretty stupid idea. Sorry, I'm using the word stupid, but I just think, we go through life, and there's a lot of people, or maybe even our own selves, that stop us from doing amazing things. And part of it is because we shy away from showing our true self. And I just think in our lives, when we are growing into adults and, just the life journey, that we need to remember that we all add something so beautiful to our world. And yeah, we need to work together. And we also need to accept each other's viewpoints. And we all have amazing stories to tell. And as you listen to The Emerald Butterfly, I would urge you, please, to take some time to think about, when was the last time you were creative? And what happened? What happened when you shared that idea? And when was the last time someone else was creative in front of you? And how did you respond to them? So those are a few questions that you can take on this journey with me, and I hope that you enjoy the emerald butterfly. This is one of my favorite ones, so I hope you enjoy it, and with that, I hope you are comfortable, and now I'll begin. The Emerald Butterfly, story told Saturday, June 7th, 2008. I welcome all butterflies into my heart because that feeling is a constant reminder of how alive and full of life I truly am. Karen A. Bakuran. Once upon a time, there was an old woman who lived on a hill. This hill was just past the magical forest in the Oak and Eagle Kingdom. There was a girl who lived down the hill. One day, this girl wandered up the hill and saw this woman. This woman was walking out of her cottage and was holding a wooden box. She carefully sat in her rocking chair on her porch and placed the box on her lap. As she sat on the porch, the old woman opened this box and out flew these beautiful butterflies that flew around her. They flew away a little bit, yet came back to her porch and began to circle her head. These butterflies were special. This girl had never seen anything like this before. There was a sapphire butterfly, a ruby butterfly, an opal butterfly, a jade butterfly, and an emerald butterfly. As the girl sat there, she saw this amazing event. Mesmerized by the butterflies, she would always come back at the same time each day. She would sit and watch this unique event. Then one day, when the girl was watching the sapphire butterfly fly, it bumped into the light. The butterfly fell to the ground and shattered. The young girl cried from a distance because she had come to love this beautiful sapphire butterfly. The old woman picked up the broken pieces. She gently brought it into the house. She then returned and put the other butterflies back in the box. The girl, devastated by the shattering sapphire butterfly, chose to leave and return home for the day. Although sad, she decided to go back the next day. As she watched the old woman come out of her home, the woman opened her wooden box once again. The young girl watched as she saw the ruby butterfly, the diamond butterfly, the jade butterfly, and the emerald butterfly fly into the air. The sapphire butterfly was not flying in the air. As she looked carefully, she noticed the sapphire one was on her shoulder all the time. The sapphire butterfly was broken. It sat on the woman's shoulder. It didn't look as beautiful as the others. As the woman sat there, she began to whisper to the sapphire butterfly, and she began to cry. As she cried, the tears fell on the butterfly, and it grew brighter with each tear and with each whisper. The woman leaned over and began to take other things out of the box. There was a piece of porcelain that looked like part of a tea set. There was a wedding ring that she held. She pressed it to the butterfly. The wings that were once broken now were melded together with other pieces to make it whole again. There was a piece of dirt that she took from the path and pressed to the butterfly. It was healed because of the gifts she had given the butterfly. The butterfly began to fly more and more each day, and each day got stronger. It was glorious. It was the most beautiful butterfly of all because of the uniqueness. The sapphire butterfly left, and the old woman smiled. Over time, each of the butterflies experienced this, and every time the woman would bring out odds and ends and press them into the butterflies. Every time the broken butterflies would just fly away. The young girl got angry. She was angry of the fact that these beautiful butterflies were careless to break. Her anger continued when she saw the old woman putting old pieces to rebuild them so they could leave her. The butterflies looked perfect at first, then broken, and then damaged when they left her home. The girl was so angry at this woman for just letting them go. How could she let them go into a world being so broken, she whispered to herself. As each of the butterflies left, the last butterfly remained. It was the emerald butterfly. As the young girl watched, the emerald butterfly flew too high. It then hit the post of the old woman's porch. The emerald butterfly fell to the ground, completely shattered, more than the other butterflies. The little girl began to cry and ran to the old woman. She ran out of the magical forest, saying, "You just can't keep doing this to your perfect butterflies." The old woman smiled. "Oh, child, I know you love these butterflies, but they were never yours to begin with." The girl bent down and picked up the pieces of the emerald butterfly. She was crying, and tears fell into the broken pieces as the little girl lifted the brokenness to the old woman. The old woman smiled. "Let me teach you," said the woman. She leaned over and gently guided the girl to her tears, so her tears would fall onto the pieces. Slowly the butterfly came together. The old woman said, "What is your greatest hope, little girl?" "It is to love and be loved always." The old woman said, "Whisper it into the broken pieces." The girl leaned down, and her words brought healing to the shards of the green gem that were shattered. The old woman continued to guide the child to tell the pieces of her favorite memories, and also describe the love she felt when she felt the most loved. The emerald butterfly began to gain strength. The girl took off her ring she had received from her mother and put it on the emerald butterfly. The girl took the bracelet that was given to her by her grandfather. All of these pieces created a new, beautiful, broken emerald butterfly. The old woman continued, "Now it is time to let our friend go." The young girl said, "No, not me. I want to keep it." The old woman said, "You created something beautiful, and now it is time to share it with the world." The tears in her eyes, she understood because she had seen the old woman let go of the other butterflies. Holding her arms out and shaking, the girl gently let the broken emerald butterfly grace her arms. She raised her arms to the sky, and the wondrous emerald butterfly flew away. It soared high into the sky. The girl embraced the old woman and cried. The old woman responded by saying, "You know that these butterflies could never fly high without the gifts of humanness. They need to be broken from their original form for them to become a gem butterfly. Created in order for them to live a full life, they are alive because of our stories. You loved, you cared, I loved, I cared. Their brokenness and your empathy will be a sign of their freedom. I have cried many tears, and now you have cried tears. Maybe this emerald butterfly may help you to remember that life is truly the life of this broken emerald butterfly. This butterfly is more than its first image. The beauty of creation is the essence of beauty through brokenness." The girl walked back to her home after her magical time with this old woman. As she turned the corner of the path, she saw something gleaming in her bedroom window. It was the emerald butterfly. As she got closer, she saw a wooden box at her door. She opened the wooden box, and there were other gem butterflies. There was a moonstone butterfly, a garnet butterfly, a topaz butterfly, and a pearl butterfly. But her favorite was the diamond butterfly. She learned that empathy, kindness, and compassion can only truly be fulfilled when you are willing to accept brokenness through love. The end.
3, 2, 1, action!